Awesome. Solar Icons family, we are fresh out of Powur World out of San Diego. Many of us just got home either today, last night, or yesterday morning. It was an action-packed, depending on when they arrived, 4 or 5 days at a minimum. And what we're going to do today is we're going to turn this over to fellow Solar Icons team members, people who are on the Zoom right now who were there. And really what I want to hear, and we're going to keep it a Q&A, we're going to ask questions. So please, I don't want anyone being shy, feeling embarrassed because maybe it's something you should have known or you felt like you should have known that you didn't. We're all safe here. We are a team. We are a family. I want this to be interactive, but I really want those who were there to identify their top 2 or 3. Maybe if time goes, we can go beyond that, but biggest ahas, biggest takeaways, and then at least one action item, maybe even 2 or 3 if you have them, of things that you are starting to implement either right now or you're doing it like today, that we can help have an impact on those that were not there. Lisa Bailey, do you want to start?
Of course I can. First of all, the convention was amazing. I sell real estate and I've been to many conventions, and this was by far the best. And meeting people, and they were so personable and they were giving out information. And one of the biggest takeaways that I think I got is from John Bernasco when he was up there saying, if you did 3 sales, 3 recruits, 3 mentor deals, that you would make 6 figures. House, if you could get that, if you had 1 sale, 1 recruit, 1 mentor deal, equals 3 years of annual income from $150,000 to $300. And how you have to have a strategy. So you have to have activities that you do every single day. You have to be consistent, because that's one thing that I wasn't, and I'm not. But believe me, I'm fired up, and I hit the ground running when I got back. Today, every day I'm gonna send out like at least 5 postcards. I've created these postcards to go solar, and I have this app that I look at to see how the sun is shining on people's roofs, and I'm sending them cards because they'd be great for solar. I'm just excited about what I can do.
Love that, Lisa. I love that you led with too, that Lisa and I come from real estate. We are in the convention business. It's something they do very well, that network marketing. So we've been doing hundreds, right? If not thousands. The fact she ranked us that high, I didn't know she was going to say that. That's amazing. I applaud that. Lisa, are you, I'll put you on blast. I didn't know. Are you willing to share a screenshot of that postcard you designed and also that app you're talking about for the sun score?
Sure. Do you want to, I don't know. I took it off of the website and just
Oh, so
it.
so it's on the, okay, cool. So it's already on the Power Marketplace.
And I did it through, what is the thing? I can't think of it. How you make cards on the internet.
Yep.
I so just front and back, and yeah, I'm sending them out.
Love it. So it's on our Power marketing site, already created. You don't have to go reinvent the wheel. The other thing she just said with the stats too, and I love that you brought that up. That wasn't something I was going to share today. That's part of the reason I'm here. It's little nuggets again that sometimes you got to hear. Another breakdown, another version of that they shared on stage. And hopefully you guys take notes on this. It's important. If as a tier 2, right, that's our job, is to get you guys to tier 2 for those that want it, for those that want to close their own. It's very simple. It's when the commission doubles. It's not for everybody, so no pressure, but that's my personal goal for each and every one of you because I believe in you. As a tier 2, doing just 1 deal a month, average take-home commission after split, take home, that's how I talk, that's the world I live in, is $7,500. Many of our teammates, and Patrick and I could talk about that, are much, much higher, but $7,500 average. 1 deal a month is $90K. That is more than most Americans are making. I got to be crystal clear on that. And I speak for a lot of people who I know personally on this call who already have other jobs, other careers, other things they lead. Adding an extra 90 grand to your bottom line, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And so to have it dumbed down, what Lisa just said, where that's 1 deal a month. And what she was talking about, where if you become tier 3, you did 1 personal, you did 1 tier 3, and you brought in a recruit, you're making multiple 6 figures a year, excuse me, just off the very basics. So I totally agree with that. Was eye-opening for me. It really was. Michael Bereson, can I go? I saw someone had a question. Jeff, did you?
I just want to know the name of that app to show the sunshine on the house.
Yep. Lisa.
Let me find it, and I'll put the link in the chat.
Thank you very much. No gatekeeping. No gatekeeping here.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Michael Bereson, you're up next, sir.
I don't use a script. I'm a team player. So first of all, Grayson missed me while I was away, my little puppy. Second of all, I had my first Power paraphernalia shirt.
Paraphernalia. Oh my God. You can tell he's in California, my friends. No, got it.
I got to hug Lisa Bailey and Aaron Browning. And we gave each other massages, but I can't talk much about that. I got to hang out with Aaron for a day. It was fun. He has a little recording everything. He doesn't miss anything. Bobby acknowledged him, and on the beach and said, podcast, what's going on here? Aaron got a lot of publicity. Aaron, I didn't get that shirt from you, by the way. So you have to send it to me.
I'll send it.
So my takeaways, gosh, the biggest thing is the same thing happened to me 23 years ago. I worked for Valpak for 14 years, and I was a superstar there. It didn't start that way. I went to my first convention, and I had just been in the company a few months, and I saw these people up there. Michael, you need to get on the stage next year to be this and that. And I needed to start at step one, which is for me, is just I could see I was part of a larger entity. That was really wonderful because it wasn't just us in the Zoom call or Chris's call or the immersives on Wednesday, but these are real people. And I took my time to take pictures with all the stars that I knew. It was just fun to do that, shake Jonathan Budd's hand and such. But the just to be part of the action to see what's really here was pretty great. And yeah, it wasn't just taking the picture. Everybody I spoke to, Patrick was great, just gave you a few pearls of wisdom when you're standing in line to get a meal or you're standing in line for something else, to talk with people, because it's not just a glam thing, but there is something about getting charged up. And I went to this show, Aaron talked about, what are your goals? My goal was to light a fire under my ass. I have another company. I'm an employee, but I run a company that does photography for real estate. It keeps me pretty damn busy, and things will slow down about another month. And I'm dedicating my entire winter. This is probably, I don't know, from Halloween through President's Day, to just sink my teeth into this company big time, because I want that 1 sale, 2 sales, 3 sales a month, and I'm just doing this full time. And that's my goal here. It was just great. So yeah, the information was great. Being around the people is the best part. And just seeing, again, we're part of this huge organization that we're part of. It's just really great, because you realize you're not just your own little piece here. And there are people at all levels. There are the Patrick Adus out there, and then there's the startups and people there for the first time. But I think getting yourself there is pretty critical, no matter how successful you are, just so you can see where you are in the big picture.
Love it. What's one thing you're going to implement right now?
Right now, I've got some folks that I have to talk to about the winter time. So I have a chimney sweep and a gutter guy that right now, and that want to get won't sign up as ambassadors. But I realize this is that I've got to give them the tools. I can't just say, hey, you can earn $1,000. I have to give them the languaging, whether I'm using AI or some scripts, but I have to make it easy for people to help me. They're not going to help me because they like me. They're going to help me because I make it easy for them and they can make some money. Hopefully they like me. But you've got to make it easy for people to help you. You can't just throw them in the funnel and just hope things work out. You've got to take action and have specific actions lined up.
Love that. Let's dissect that for a quick second too. And please come off mute, raise your hand if you have questions. That was one of my takeaways too. It was specifically Wally, who, by the way, I'll go ahead and let you guys know first, is going to be on the podcast tomorrow. Wally earns 7 figures from Powur, and he doesn't even live in this country. He's 100% remote. It's going to break some records. It's going to be awesome. But he gets a majority of his deals from ambassadors, meaning he's running at high profit. They're all warm leads. He doesn't deal with no shows. He doesn't deal with any of the stuff that many of us deal with when we're out, whether it's doing events, it's doing leads, what have you. His are all warm. He's leveraging it. But he did say, and I've been against the ambassador program for this very reason. I didn't know how to do it. If you're just signing up ambassadors, hoping and praying they're going to give you deals, I personally, it does not work. There are many sellers right now staring at me who want more deals and haven't figured out how to get them. And they're on these calls, they're on trainings, they're plugged in. An ambassador got none of that. So if you think and hope and pray that they're just going to turn on like that, it's just rare, really rare. So Wally, he didn't go on a deep dive, but I will take him on a deep dive tomorrow for you. He has a newsletter he's sending out. He buys the Powur shirts and he gives them to his ambassadors. So they're out wearing, he's making them wear marketing material. Most people wear swag for free. If you're going to give it to them, an $8 shirt, $10 shirt. So they're out asking me about, or someone asked, he gives them the script. He literally tells them, if you're out in person, until you know by heart, pull up my text message and read it word for word. Like it was comical, but he's walking them right through it. So there's no mess ups. He's not even letting them import the lead unless they're qualified to do it. He's having them do a 3-way text so that he doesn't put his family's fortune into an ambassador that's not trained or educated on how to do it. Like he's really coaching them up on this. And because of that, he said he wakes up every single day to ambassador deals. Not a day goes by. Not a day goes by. So it's not pray and wait. He's really, obviously still pray, but he's built out a system. He's touching them. It's high level, high communication. So that was awesome. Any questions, comments on the ambassador program? Any takeaways from Michael? Okay, cool. Jake, go over to you, sir. And by the way, Michael, please stick around. Anyone that's already spoke, because I'm sure people are going to have questions.
Yeah, so I had about a gazillion takeaways, but I'll try and narrow it down to three. I wrote them down on a notepad here, but I would say the first one was that the event really underscored the power of networking. And your network, obviously the cliche, your network is your network, or network is your net worth rather. But I meant obviously like with this kind of landscape, you meet a ton of people like remotely, things like that. And you can definitely connect with people and build good rapport and establish that type of thing. But there's definitely something to be said about meeting people like in real life, face to face. Like obviously I met Aaron, Michael, we didn't talk a ton, but we met Patrick actually and a few other people like within Solar Icons. And then I just met a ton of people just like waiting in line for the lunch truck, stuff like that. Got a ton of different ideas and just like seeing what everyone else is doing was very valuable. Just like an example of how a connection I made, I think could definitely lead to some business is that one guy I actually met, he's located pretty close to me here. He's in Pennsylvania. I'm in New Jersey, right across the bridge. But he just recently got a roofing partner with him, and he's basically going to be set up with a ton of roofing leads that the roofer just installed. And he said, dude, I'm going to have more leads than I know what to do with. We can definitely work something out and figure out the commission structure on these leads. So I'm going to be meeting with him this week, probably in person or over the phone about how we can go about that. So I would say networking, definitely that was huge for me. Then another one I wrote down, I didn't really know how to label this, but just so many different routes and avenues you can take to generate business. So for me, I've been like strictly focused on like door-to-door sales. And there's a reason I've been doing that. I wanted to really build up like my sales skills first. But like people are doing recruiting, like Aaron did an amazing session on the as part of a panel on how he's recruiting people. And then like networking through BNI, different partnerships with roofers, HVAC, real estate. And then even just people, some people doing lead gen. I talked to one guy who's doing lead gen, and he said another guy in the company was doing like he did 150 deals and he was only doing it through lead gen, nothing else. So that's just opens up my mind to if I might try that, what I could accomplish with that. And it pretty much made me realize I can be doing so much more than what I have been doing. And it's definitely motivated me for that. And then the third takeaway is just it did number one, it motivated me to level up what I'm doing. And it just expanded my horizon of what the potential within the platform is. Pretty much like all these people who are some people are doing over 100 deals a month, just crazy numbers like that. And what I realize and what, in my opinion, a lot of these people aren't just like that much better than I am at sales or anything like that. It's just that they have way more leads. They have warm leads coming into them. They have a bigger network and they learned how to leverage that and expand on that. So I know I could be doing this and I know I can get a lot better. And there's no reason why I couldn't be doing what all these guys are doing. So it definitely motivated me. And yeah, I'm just really ecstatic. I need to take action more. And I know a lot of this stuff, if you learn it and don't implement it, then it's worthless. So I know it's motivated me to take a lot more action. But yeah, just like I think Michael said, lit a fire under me too. So those are like the main ones.
Freaking love that, man. That was my biggest takeaway last year when I went to the first convention, being like 4 or 5 days into Powur, not being able to spell Powur, didn't know anything about solar, nothing. It was seeing people walk across stage making 7 figures who didn't have a sales background, haven't been in solar for more than a year. I needed that belief. I needed to know. It's like the 4-minute mile. I needed to know someone else could do it. And I was like, oh boy, I got to go learn this thing. So I 100% agree with you. And that's what can't be duplicated without going, in my opinion. It's the stories you pick up. Anyone that knows me, that is how I recruit. That's how I team build. I am a storyteller. I soaked up hundreds of stories that I cannot wait to match with people that are going to be relevant in their lives. But that's what it's all about, which is really cool. Jake, appreciate you sharing, brother. Sorry, someone have a question? No, I thought someone said something. Let's go over to Jason, if you don't mind. I know you spoke quickly about how like we connected and things, but do you have a takeaway or two and then something you're going to implement, sir?
Similar to Lisa, that 333 concept. So, and just time blocking, taking that time in order to make sure that I'm implementing what needs to be done. So my morning this morning is about recruiting. My evening this evening will be about sales. In my brain, what I come up with is the gate. Get to 8 opens the gate. Get to 8 leads to tier 3. So that's my ultimate goal, is getting out of my own way, opening my brain up and just putting the time in just like I would any other business. And just like Jake said, I'm one of those people that if somebody else can do it, and from the people that I got a chance to meet, they're down to earth, they're humble. They just had the drive and tenacity and to stick with it, to work the system, plan their work and work their plan in order to accomplish the goal that they wanted to accomplish. I'm no different. I'm just as driven as anybody on here. So that's my ultimate goal is 3, 3, 3. Follow that formula, lead to 6 figures.
I love it. You bring up a great point, and I've never known how to say this without hurting feelings. So I apologize ahead of time, but it's important what he just said. And also what Jake just said. There was not a person I met there where I was like, that's how they did it. That's how they did it. They're Mensa, they're Harvard educated, they're Grant Cardone's son. You know, like there was no one. It was average people who just got really laser focused on what they do and they spent time on task. And I say that to almost let a weight off of everyone's shoulders. There were average people that we bumped shoulders with, who were making 7 figures from this business. Blows my freaking mind. And it just really shows you what's available. I love that, the gateway to 8. I think that's genius. I would tattoo it on your forehead. I would have a Post-it note everywhere you go. I know you already are, but be laser focused on that. Yes, Lisa.
You said about rubbing elbows with these people. And that's the thing about it too, that I just want to mention real quick, is that everyone was generous with their time. There's nobody there that was like, "Oh, I'm too good," or I'm beneath it. No, everyone was open and helpful and friendly. It was a family, is what it was. That's the truth about it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think I had a single bad experience, which is rare. Most conventions I've gone to, especially in real estate, you got some high up people that, hey, what level are you before I talk? Or you're not on my team. You're not that. There was none of that. It really was a sense of family. And by the way, I think a large part of that, nice people, that's what they do. But we're also all shareholders. You are a fool if you are in this company, you're not willing to share with someone else about how you did it, because it improves all of our ownership in this company. I don't think that's why they're doing it, but let's call it what it is. I think that definitely helps. Lisa, and then I'll go to Craig.
I was going to harp on that same thing and about how the people, because I was in everybody's face that was making the money, because I want you to know me. And I took pictures with everybody, and they were just so humble. Nobody was hounding out from Jonathan Budd on down. I was just hugging, and I've known them forever. And it's one thing where you see everybody on Zoom, but you do have to get involved and talk to people and reach out to people, because I go to all people's training. They know who I am, because I'm trying to get tidbits from everybody I possibly can, because that's to me, that's how you just grow more. I'm the realtor in your backyard, and some of them were like, "Oh, you're the realtor." And I'm like, that's working. So however you need to do it, just, you can't be a secret agent. You got to put yourself out there, and you have to have a plan to succeed.
It's a really good point. This is Craig, I'll come to you one second. This is something Jake and I we're talking about last week before convention, because of his new tier 3 status. And we train on this, but some people just don't do it. It's what Lisa just said. This business rewards you being known, especially if you have tier 3 ambitions. You will get tagged by so many deals just by putting yourself out there, just by offering value. You wake up to deals outside of your own team, outside of your own personal recruits. If that's a career path you want, and I think for many it is, why in God's name are you not putting yourself out there? Why are you not going to all the market meetings? Why are you not offering items of value? I mean, it just makes perfect sense, Lisa, and that's something you do at a really high level. Craig, how are you, sir?
Good.
I'm glad you were able to make it, man. I know you had a conflict. Yeah. Okay, cool. If you don't mind sharing a couple experiences from convention, obviously your first one, you're relatively newer with us here at Powur and Solar Icon specifically, and then also a takeaway or two that you're going to start implementing.
I've been to a lot of conventions in the past 40 years, whatever, and that was one of the best I've ever been to. It was really good. It was really interesting, because the first person I met when I was standing in line to check in the registration desk there, and I met this Vincent Bloat, B-L-O-T. He's down in South Florida and been in business for about 3 years, a little over 2 years. He said he made $900,000 his first year in Powur. He's in the real estate business. And I thought, wow, that's pretty amazing. He says he didn't make as much as last year because he played a lot of golf, but I thought it was funny. But he says he's getting back in but that's a boatload of money for first year of any business. Can you imagine? The other thing, the really big as the company is, did over 300 million last year. There wasn't very many people there. There was like less than 1,000 people there, which is exciting to me. I thought, this is incredible. There was like probably 700 people, something like that, at the conventions. That was really exciting to me because the company's been around for several years, and there are, well, I guess there's about 7,000 agents or sellers out there, but not that many at the convention in my mind, which is fantastic. I love it because people that are serious are going to come to conventions. I think it's great. Looking forward to building this thing.
Love it. Is there something you're going to implement right away?
Yeah, take action. I'm going to get back on the bandwagon, calling people. One thing I talked about with Zach Bach, went to his training, and he talked about you got to take action, which I've done action, but what I haven't done is call people. Texting is fine, but there's so many people that they get a text from me and it's something about other than what I've dealt with in the past. They think it's a scam. They're not even responding. I notice there's so many of them, but I'm going to just start making phone calls, do the old fashioned way of calling people up and telling them what's going on and get excited about it that way. So recruiting people and then doing some sales. I got to get sales and just reaching out to people I know and turn them on to solar.
Love it. Love it. It was my first time meeting Craig. He obviously, I think he looks tall in his photo, much taller, 6'7" or something. How tall are you, sir?
6'6".
6'6". I was way off. Absolute giant of a man. A little side piece I learned from him at the little bar area. He is a 2-time collegiate national champion for football. Has the ring, the hardware, blew my mind. And by the way, you would never know it. If I didn't prep him on that question, I would have never found out. Down to earth, humble dude, just awesome guy, man. Another little sidebar. Before I met him at the convention, I met another lady, and I'm so bad with names. I believe her name is Karen. She comes to my Virginia market development. She's a little spitfire, but just energy, and she's 5 foot nothing. When I say that, no judgment, just you wouldn't even know it if you didn't have your eyes closed. Anyway, long story short, I meet her and she goes, I just met Craig. I was like, oh my gosh, where is he? She's like, I'm not sure. I was like, how'd you meet him? Like, how'd you know? Not on our team, just Virginia market. And she goes, I saw him at the airport. I walked right up to him, gave him a hug and said, I know you from the meeting. Long story short, she had a friend in San Diego picking her up. That lady offered Craig a ride from the airport. They go out to lunch. They do a little San Diego tour, all from being plugged into the ecosystem. I had goosebumps. I was like, that is what this thing's about. It's so much bigger than just he or I. He was already connected before I even got my hands on him. And it was just awesome to witness.
Hey, she took us over to meet her husband at her house. And
crazy, man.
To buy some food, take it to the hotel to eat.
I'd love to see a photo of the two of you together. Rebecca, I know you and John were on an appointment. I'm glad you were on. Are you in a place where you can talk or no?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, sweet.
I'm
Heck yeah.
super cash, guys. Sorry, just worked out. So yeah, I did have an appointment. They canceled. I'm meeting with her later in the afternoon. But anyway, yeah, I went last year, obviously, to Dallas as well. And Aaron said I was like 2 weeks or something into the business, or not even maybe. And we had trouble getting there. So I missed like the first day and a half of the conference last year. But what I did see last year was incredible. So this year for me, it was like, there's no question. Of course, I'm going. And I couldn't have predicted how much I enjoyed this year. I got a lot more out of it because obviously I know a lot more about the industry. I, like Lisa and Aaron, also am from real estate. And so I was really focused on real estate and really not putting a lot of time and effort into solar. But I run John Bobness's back end, like basically work as his private PM so that he can focus on other things, because that's the way we run our real estate business. So it felt like that's just what my role is going to be. But after this weekend, I really realized I can be doing so much more and not a lot of effort. I talk to homeowners all day, every day. So why am I not also saying, hey, also talk to John about solar and putting those leads in the system? Because I don't have any desire to run those appointments and actually do the presentation, but I can certainly get a commission on those. So that was my biggest takeaway, but also meeting the people, like everyone has said. I got to stare into Craig's eyes for about 2 minutes, which was lovely. And thank you for not feeling like I was a creep, Craig. But it was really fun and just took a lot away from it. And it was fantastic. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for hopping on. I know your schedule's tight. What I love that she just said many things. One is it goes back to the avenues you can play in here at Powur. She doesn't have the goal of running those presentations. Oh, by the way, she can still make $3,500 minimum a pop for referring it out and letting John or Patrick or someone else go close it. That's an amazing place to live. So just remember, that's a story, by the way. It's a story. I just gave you one. When you talk to someone, they're like, oh, I have no interest in running Zooms. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you about my girl, Rebecca. Guys, I just gave you an insight on how I do this. That is what I do right there. It has nothing to do with me. I am just literally matching and sharing stories. We're gonna come to Patrick in 1 second, then we'll open it up. A couple of things I want to touch on real quickly. And once again, I don't know how to say this without sounding cocky about what we've built. It has nothing to do with me. It's more of the team here, though. But I do want to say it. I don't even know how many people, multiple dozens, say they watch everything we put on our YouTube channel. They've listened to every single podcast. They're recruiting from it. Their business has drastically changed. What we have here at Solar Icons is special, my friends. And people outside of us are getting lots and lots of value from it, which is awesome. It's all about paying it forward. So I would just challenge each and every one of you, if you're not here, if you're not showing up, if your schedule doesn't work for it, I get it. Are you catching the replays? Are you doing everything you freaking can, whether it's on the Telegram, the Facebook page, private messaging with people you relate to on here? You need to lean in, because there are people who don't have the access that each and every one of us have, who are doing it and making a lot of money from it. It was a really big takeaway. I needed to hear it because I got to do a better job promoting it, grabbing all of you, shaking all of you, getting your butts here when we do things. The other thing, I think Michael Bereson talked about it. I did a segment on LinkedIn recruiting. It's been my #1 source. Lots of people asking for info. It does cost money. I don't get anything from it. I think it's around $150, that program. I am going to put a Zoom together for our team first before I open it up to Powur. If you are interested in that and you have $150, you don't have to pay me. You don't have to pay for that day. If you want to learn about it, you can, but there are fees involved. I'm averaging 4 to 6 recruits from it, all on autopilot. Let me know. Let us know in the Telegram chat here or whatever. I'll make sure you get the details for that segment as well. Another big takeaway, and then I'll go to you, Patrick. I heard this a lot, and this is something I do teach, but I'm going to do a better job, be a lot more aggressive with it. I had a lot of people outside of our team come up to me. They know I love recruiting and team building, so they felt comfortable saying it. But they said the biggest mistake they made in their career so far at Powur was separating it, was saying, I'm just going to focus on sales. And now they're realizing, yes, they have a great business, they have a great income, but they have no leverage. They can't go on vacation. They can't do anything else. And they said, shame on me for waiting 1.5 2 years to start also talking to people about it. And they were blown away at the stuff our team's doing, the training and all that sort of stuff regarding that. So I would challenge each and every one of you who do want a team. Your definition of team could be completely different. It could be one person a month. It could be one person a year, whatever that looks like for you. Don't wait until you become a solar pro to have those conversations. There is no reason why you can't do both. I'm not telling you to spend all your day on that. I want you to get paid and promoted, everything else, but definitely I would sprinkle that in. It was a real big pain point that was shared with me over and over by some of the top solar professionals in this game. It really was. Yes, Michael. You're on mute, sir.
I was just going to say, why wouldn't you share it? It's more like, it could be a goal to build a team, but it just could be you want to share with the people in your universe the opportunity. That's what I do. I'm not out there saying you need to do this. It's more like, this is what I'm doing. It's great. Come play.
It's head junk, man. Most of the time it's because you have not had the success in solar sales that you thought you were going to have or that you want of yourself, and so you don't feel qualified. And I'm telling you, I had a team of 40 my first month. I hadn't even sold a deal. Like, anyone that's telling yourself that, you are missing it. You're not explaining it, especially if you follow our model. You're getting a video, you're getting them on a Monday night. There is no reason. I'm going to use Patrick again. The first time I picked on him, he's hard to pick on. We're not qualified to talk to that solar professional he just brought over. Patrick and I, we have not done enough. Like, this guy is so much better at solar sales than the two of us. Sorry, Patrick. It's a fact. Yet, because we leverage tools, he leverages meetings. He got him in front of people like Andy, who can explain enterprise a heck of a lot better than us. He's now coming on, and that's a 6-figure a month override for Patrick. Don't let that block you. Joe Trotter, I had no business signing this gentleman up. No business. He's 1,000 times better than me. But guess what? I can pique his interest, get a video in his hands, answer a few questions, or get him on the phone with someone else that can. Say it again.
And he's relentless.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you. That's what this is about. Think about it. If I waited until I got to Joe's level, for one, I could have waited forever. I might never. You don't have to. Shameless recruiting plug, but I'm telling you, I goosebumps. It was a pain point for a lot of people. Mr. Patrick Adu, we're going to go over to you, sir. Give us some feedback from convention, a couple takeaways, and what you're looking to implement, sir.
All right. So, like I said, Anya has a proposal at 2. I'm supposed to go over proposal with her. She's waiting for me, but I wanted to just spend 2 minutes more before I leave you guys. Listen, anyone who was at the convention, it took a lot of sacrifice. Okay, plane, hotel, food, everything. It was a lot of sacrifice, but this is the difference. Anyone who went to the convention will move 3 years faster in getting to where they need to be than someone who did not go. I understand. Maybe somebody was sick. There was a situation, you couldn't make it. The truth is, if you create a miracle, and believe me, the people who are there, the hundreds and hundreds of people who are there, I can almost be certain that 90% of them did not have the money sitting in the bank to come. I can tell you that they fought through something, made something happen to get there. And the reward is that when you are there in person, you're shaking hands with the owner of the company, president, meeting top leaders, big production, people who are working 6 months in the United States and on vacation for 6 months in the Philippines and making $1 million a year. And they've only been in the business for 17 months. When you can talk to them and do what they do and copy from them and they give you stuff, there is no way you are not 2-3 years ahead of someone who didn't make it. So what I want to say to you is that if you were here, you're on this call and you couldn't make it to the national event, it's all right. Find a way, whatever means necessary, to make it to next year's event in Orlando. But more importantly, do what I'm doing or what I did and what all the leaders do. Bring your people with you some way, somehow. There was a guy who called me last minute and wanted to come, and I had to put him in my room. And I don't like sleeping with anybody in my room, even though there were 2 beds. I just don't know how to do it. But I couldn't get a room, and I couldn't say no to him. I was like, come on over. Guess what? It was the best thing I ever did. Ended up getting to know him on a different level. And this person is going to do amazing things. We are putting a big event in a city for the person. The point I'm trying to make is that you do whatever it takes to be there and bring whoever you can in your business with you, because when they come back, they will say, move away and let me go. And that's what you want. All right. So that's the biggest thing I have for you going forward. The other thing I want to tell you, what I'm going to do going forward, it's just crazy. I work my business every day. Okay, it's a business. I treat it just like my real estate business. I treat it just like my snow company. Work it every day. So every day I have time. I have a schedule. I also am a full-time minister, volunteer. Full-time minister means I don't get paid for it. So everything is arranged. I don't have time to play around. My whole life is scheduled Monday through Sunday, including family time with my wife and family. So what am I going to do different in my case? Nothing, because I always work it as a businessman. I know what it takes to grow a business. I know it's a business. If I play with it, I make play money. Believe me when I tell you, I didn't make 6 figures last month experimenting whether I'm going to do the business or not, or trying to figure out, okay, am I going to do work today? Is this power thing real? There's nothing like that. Okay, I work my business every day. I'm motivated. I'm excited. I'm going to do whatever I've been doing every day. It's a business. I look at it like $1 million business. I work it. I work my business every day. Okay. And I only focus on 2 things: recruiting and selling solar. That's it. Anything else, too much. I don't want to know. It's too much. It's confusing for me. All right. So that's all I have for you. I have to run and go sell solar. Remember, I said all I do is sell solar and grow my team. So I'm going to go do that. All right. I hope you can benefit from what Aaron has for you, and see you soon.
Love it, brother. Good luck at 2 o'clock, man.
Take care, guys.